I've been telling you guys there is no interest in pretend basketball. I have been telling you guys for years, as the mainstream media has intentionally lied to us. These elite athletes are amazing! This is the best basketball in the world! Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! We have been talking about this here on the channel for years. The so-called growth in women's basketball is an illusion. For starters, it's easy to show growth when you're growing from nothing to almost nothing. But people were not watching women's basketball. People were not paying $10 to be sedated while the Chicago Bravado airballed layups against the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces. Contrary to the prevailing narrative in the mainstream media, Angel Reese is not a draw. AJ Wilson, but my name is Asia.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
AJ Wilson is damn sure not a draw. From college basketball to the WNBA, and you can include startup leagues like Unrivaled, where sympathetic investors have wasted millions of dollars on a product that no one asked for. The only draw in the soon-to-be bankrupt ecosystem of women's basketball is Caitlin Clark. And when Caitlin Clark isn't playing, people aren't watching. I told you guys when Unrivaled started, this secondary dump is destined for huge embarrassing failure. I am not a psychic. I'm not related to Miss Cleo. I'm no expert in the business of women's basketball. Apparently, neither is anyone else because they can't find a way to monetize this turd. But in order for any business to succeed, you have to fill a specific need in the market, or you have to take an already established product and make it different, make it better. Unrivaled fails to do either one. There is no need for more women's basketball. Matter of fact, looking at these ratings, the market is clearly telling you we want less women's basketball. Me personally, I think one of the reasons Unrivaled was started was to apply pressure to the WNBA. Well, Uncle Casey, that's not true. Nafisha Collier and Brianna Stewart, they launched Unrivaled to ensure these elite athletes were paid what they deserve. Yeah. I think one of the reasons Unrivaled was started was to provide WNBA players with leverage. The reason they're so comfortable claiming that they're going to go on strike, the reason they are emboldened to make unreasonable demands, they know Unrivaled provides them with a backup plan. They know Unrivaled will vastly overpay them. But there's one problem with this plan, one tiny problem. In order for Unrivaled to provide leverage, they've got to be successful. To borrow a word from Nafisha Collier, Unrivaled has to prove that they are a sustainable business. Unfortunately for these overpaid unknowns, the only thing Unrivaled is sustaining is huge embarrassing failure. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Wanted to give you guys a quick update real quick. I've had a lot of you guys reach out, and I appreciate it, asking me about my oldest Yorkie, Chewy, which is the darker-haired dog in this picture right here in my recliner. We finally got to bring her home yesterday morning. She's heavily medicated right now. We've got specialists in Auburn, which is one of the top veterinary facilities in the country. We've got specialists up there working on a treatment plan. They think that she has mouth cancer on her tongue. We'll know for sure next week. Good news is, they can probably treat it. Bad news is the treatment options aren't exactly ideal. The most ideal treatment is to remove the cancer by removing her tongue. I don't know if we can put her through that. The recovery would be brutal. She would have to be fed through a tube. At this point, we're hoping it's just an infection. Like I said, we'll know for sure next week, but if I miss videos or I miss a day or two here and there, just know I'm taking care of Chew. In the meantime, please keep her in your prayers. Throughout the day on Monday and into the primetime window, TNT provided their audience with unwanted, unexciting pretend basketball that no one asked for. Last year, opening night of Unrivaled averaged 313,000 viewers. Not exactly what I would call great, but not too bad for a startup league. Compared to what they drew Monday night, 313,000 viewers is a dream. It's like a microscopic drop of water after spending a week in the desert. Season 2 of Unrivaled, opening night, they averaged 107,000 viewers on TNT. That is a 65% decline compared to last year. To make matters worse, and we talked about this last summer, Paige Bueckers is not a draw. Casey, that's just not true. Paige Bueckers is a huge star. Oh, yeah? Paige Bueckers might be one of the highest paid players in Unrivaled, which really means Paige Bueckers is the most overpaid. But there is absolutely no way they are monetizing her non-existent drawing power. Unrivaled is paying Paige Bueckers $348,000 to generate 107,000 viewers. I don't think I have to explain why that dog won't hunt. A side effect of these atrocious ratings is the decreased leverage it gives WNBA players in negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement. The deadline to reach an agreement is today. Obviously, they're not going to meet that deadline, but that's okay. If you're one of the dozens of fans of pretend basketball, Uncle KC has great news for you. There is a possibility that the 2026 WNBA season will not be canceled. Now, you might be wondering, how are they going to play without a collective bargaining agreement? Great minds must think alike, because that's the exact same question I had. How are they going to play without agreed upon salaries? How are they going to play without compensation? According to ESPN, the WNBA and their incredibly entitled players, they have a potential solution to the problem. There is a possibility that the 2026 season will be played under the current or the old collective bargaining agreement. Wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong here. For months now, WNBA players have publicly claimed that we are standing firm. We are fighting for our right to be overpaid. We are fighting for our right to be compensated with money we have no way of earning. Around Christmas, WNBA players were threatening to go on strike. So, how did we go from that level of false bravado to WNBA players essentially begging to be paid in Ethiopian breadcrumbs? Lucky players will be paid in pesos. How did we go from we demand millions to we'll work for breadcrumbs? This is pure speculation on my part, but I think WNBA players are realizing that they have minimal leverage. I think they're realizing that their primary subsidizer, which is the NBA, I think they're realizing that the NBA does not need the WNBA. To their credit, The NBA has tried to get a deal done. They have offered WNBA players 50% of net revenue, which is the revenue left after subtracting expenses. Sounds fair, right? WNBA players are demanding 30% of gross revenue, which is the total amount of revenue that's generated before expenses are subtracted. Now, obviously, the WNBA will never agree to those terms. Team owners aren't going to continue losing money while paying players millions of dollars. The longer this goes on, the more leverage WNBA players lose. If they agree to play under the old CBA, WNBA players are losing millions of dollars. Just think about that. The league is offering them million-dollar contracts, which is what they were originally asking for. But because they're so stubborn, because they're so entitled, they are willing to continue playing for pesos in order to stand by our beliefs. Last I checked, the power company doesn't accept beliefs as a form of payment. I don't know about you guys, but my hunger has never been satisfied by consuming beliefs. There is a reason WNBA players are refusing to be paid based on net revenue. For 30 years, the net revenue in this league has been negative, meaning they've been losing money. WNBA players, they want guaranteed millions, but they don't have enough belief in themselves to go out and generate it, go out and earn it. If the 2026 season is played under the old CBA, it could be a disaster. For starters, WNBA players could go on strike at any time without notice. The league, they would have no incentive to get a deal done other than the fact that you don't want these negotiations tarnishing the entire season. But at this point, who gives a shit? The substandard product on the court already tarnishes this dump of a league. The more Unrivaled struggles, the more leverage the WNBA has. If there is one thing the WNBA has that these startup leagues don't, it's longevity. For reasons unknown, the NBA has decided to keep this turd afloat. I don't care what Nafisha Collier says. Unrivaled is well on its way to extinction. TNT can't keep investing millions of dollars into a league that can't draw flies to a fresh turd. But Casey, what about Project B? At this point, Project B is an unknown commodity. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. The only league with a foundation is the WNBA, which is why players are pushing to get more of their money, because they know billionaire NBA owners have it. The problem is, they're running out of patience. They are tired of investing millions of dollars into a league that not only doesn't generate profit, the only thing WNBA players are capable of generating is problems, complaints. And with their latest proposal, which is 30% of gross revenue, WNBA players are proposing a deal that would see the league losing $700 million, which is significantly more money than the WNBA has lost throughout its 30-year existence. Would you agree to those terms? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.